My name is Victoria, and today we are going to be doing a Christmas Carol book tag. The original tag is linked down below. It was created by Lauren Wade, who is a lovely booktuber who I've been watching for a long time. And when I saw this tag, I didn't realize she was the one that created it. So that was a very nice surprise. So go watch her original one. It's very lovely and just very cozy to watch. I'm in a little different location today because my poor dog got surgery, and so I've been kind of hanging out on the couch and watching her and just making sure she's okay. So if you're wondering what's on her, it's this inflatable cone. So instead of like those plastic cones that dogs have to wear after they get surgery so that they don't get to their stitches, she has this inflatable one, which is a little more comfortable for them to wear. So she is definitely not a happy camper, as you can see. She's not happy about life right now, but she got a surgery that she really needed. She had a tumor that had to be removed. So anyways, moving on to the tag, but I just wanted to give you apparently a very lengthy explanation. But in the spirit of things, we tried to dress up a little Christmassy with a red glittery scarf matching my red pillow in the background, which, hey, didn't plan that, but there you go. The first question of the tag is A Ghost of Christmas Past, a book that was your childhood favorite. I actually own some of my childhood favorite books, and I don't know what happened to the rest of them. Maybe I gave away a lot of them. Maybe they're still at my parents' house, but I'm picking a little bit of a weird one for this one. I don't know if it ever had a cover. I don't think it ever had a cover since I've owned it. But it's called Glorious Cats, and it's by Leslie Ann Ivory. And I'm just going to tell you right now that I probably barely actually read this book. I probably mostly looked at it for the pictures, but it's all about different types of cats. And then there's like a little poetic description that's very literary, so that's what makes me think I didn't really read this all the way through. But like, this is the mystical cat, Chinese cat, it says. I don't know if that's actually correct. In honor of Taffy Topaz. So I think I liked the pictures the most. I don't think I actually read it. But when I think of childhood favorite books, this very strange book comes to mind. So there you go, a little bit of a weird answer for that one. Question number 2 is The Ghost of Christmas Present, a recent book that you think will become one of your all-time favorites. That's really easy for me because I'm pretty sure this will be my favorite book of the year. When I think of favorite books, I think of ones that really impacted me in a more personal way, that maybe impacted my faith, or I don't know, something that just had a really personal effect on me. And that this year, that was definitely Unbroken by Laura Hillenbrand. This book follows the story of Louis Zamperini, who was a World War II veteran who has just an incredible story. He was shipwrecked, survived, I think, 8 days or 9 days in the Pacific Ocean, and then he was captured by the Japanese and put through a lot of horrible things, and then you just have to read it to know what happens. But it is a beautiful book. It was so impactful to me. I will remember this book forever. I actually even bought it for my stepdad for Christmas. He doesn't know that yet, and he won't watch this video, so, well, at least I hope not. But I even got it for him for Christmas because I was like, more people need to read this book. So definitely going to be my favorite book of the year. I'm almost positive. Question number 3 is The Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, or I guess that's The Ghost of Christmas Future. A book coming out next year that you're most excited about. So I'm very much trying to stay away from buying a lot of new releases for next year because I have a lot of books that I just want to get through on my physical TBR that I've had for years and years. But there's one book that I know I'll be reading as soon as it comes out, and that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. And so this is a prequel to The Hunger Games. It is about, I think it follows the story of Mags, who is a very favorite character of most people who read The Hunger Games. So I'm excited to see where she takes the story. what insights she brings to her world. And yeah, it'll just be really intriguing. We haven't had a new Hunger Games book in many, many, many years. So this is definitely an exciting one, if I had to pick one. Question number 4, Bah Humbug. A book that everyone else loves that you just can't stand. Now, I don't know if everyone truly loved this one, but I originally picked it up because I heard a lot of good initial buzz about it. If you look on Goodreads now, it's definitely not so loved by the general public, but by book critics in particular, it was very highly praised, and I picked it up. I may have even pre-ordered it, and that was, I always say it wrong, Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. I read it in February when it came out, and it was highly, highly praised. It was predicted that it was going to be like one of the best books of the year, that it was going to win all these awards, and I didn't follow it long enough to know if it did or not, but this wasn't for me for many reasons. This is pitched as an African Game of Thrones, which, number one, was a terrible decision on the marketing, because that really implies a lot of different things, none of which are really true in this book. This is not a fast-paced, action-filled book. This is a slow, very heartbreaking, but very gruesome and grotesque, to the point of desensitization. You can only read about such horrific things so much before you just kind of get desensitized to things, which is what happened to me in this. It was just like page after page of horrible thing happening to these characters, and just a lot of, like, anything terrible you could think of, it happened, and then things that I could never even imagine happened. It's got really just disgusting scenes in it. And so it wasn't for me. Maybe for someone else. I probably missed the whole point of it. It was definitely much more of a literary fiction book, which I usually really like, but not this time. So this was definitely one of the hardest books that I read this year. I would not recommend it. I don't even know who would like this book. People do, but nope, not for me. Question number 5 is Bob Cratchit, an old dependable that you always recommend. We're going to go with one that I'm going to be rereading very soon, and that is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, I wouldn't really recommend Lord of the Rings to everyone, but I probably would recommend The Hobbit to most people, especially people who don't usually read fantasy. I think The Hobbit's pretty accessible and is, honestly now with the movies and everything, a story that people know, or at least a lot of people kind of have an idea. Thanks to the movies, a lot of people kind of know the Lord of the Rings and everything. So I think The Hobbit is a good one to recommend. Definitely one of my favorite books, the whole Lord of the Rings series. And I'm really excited to start rereading this. I'm going to be rereading The Hobbit in January with the Lord of the Read-Along, hosted by Krista from Books and Jams. So excited for that. Question number 6 is Tiny Tim, an underhyped book that you think deserves more love. For that, I'm going to go with one of my favorite series that I read this year, which was A Wizard of Earthsea. I'm just going to recommend really the whole series, but this first book is excellent, and it seems like, especially on Booktube, not a lot of people have read it. It's a little bit more of an older classic fantasy, and it's fantastic. You would really benefit from reading this if you're into fantasy. It's very much a touchstone or cornerstone of young adult fantasy. However, as the series goes, it becomes a lot more adult. And I would say by the 4th book, it's not young adult anymore, it's adult. But this is just so classic. It has a lot of classic tropes in it, but they are just written really beautifully, and it's very deep with a deep moral. It makes you think. It's a journey-centered book, a coming-of-age story, and it seems like not a lot of people have read it, at least not on the internet community. So this one, very underhyped. I think more people should know about it and know that it's good and should pick it up. Question number 7 is today, why it's Christmas Day. What's a book that always gets you in the mood for Christmas? I'm not much of a Christmas book reader. I don't think I've read a lot of books that are themed around Christmas, but this may be kind of standard, but I would say Harry Potter reminds me of Christmas because there's a Christmas scene in a lot of them. Definitely more than one of them has a Christmas scene, Christmas setting, since it follows a school year. So we always get to see them around the Christmas time. So I think Harry Potter is just one of those book series that, along with myself, a lot of people think about during the Christmas time, even though it's not a Christmas themed book in itself. But it definitely gives me those Christmassy, warm and fuzzy vibes. Question number 8 is the Muppet Christmas Carol, which I just watched for the first time around Thanksgiving break. And so that was fun. I had never seen it before. It was really cute. The question that goes with this is your favorite film adaptation of a book. I'm kind of going to give 2 for this. Since I talked about The Hobbit, I'm going to say Lord of the Rings, I think, is a great book to film adaptation, minus the Hobbit movies. Don't watch the Hobbit movies. They're not very good. And they changed the story a bit also. So not the Hobbit ones, but Lord of the Rings, yes. Great film adaptation. And then I also want to give a shout out to Sherlock, which isn't a movie. I know, it's a TV show. But although it's obviously not following exactly the old school Sherlock Holmes. It's not like a perfect adaptation from book to movie. What it does with Sherlock and Sherlock's character, and what it does with the basis of the story, I think is really masterful, and it's just a fascinating TV show, and it's just a lot of fun to watch. So Sherlock, I think, deserves some credit there, even though it's a TV show. So I'm cheating a little bit with that one. I have no idea who has done this tag and who has not, so I'm not going to tag anyone specific, but if you are in the Christmas spirit, you want to do a Christmassy tag, this one is a pretty easy one to do, and it's lots of fun, and feel free. You are tagged. You are it. I hope you're having a fantastic day and a fantastic holiday season wherever you are in the world. I hope you're amping up to have good times with family and friends or animals. Poor Evelyn. Thank you so much for watching my video today, and I look forward to seeing your tag of this video if you would like to do it. Let me know if you do it. I would like to watch it. Bye-bye.